Have you ever dreamed of becoming a person who cannot be shaken? A soul no longer eroded by criticism, no longer trembling in the face of rejection, no longer aching from loss or betrayal. Perhaps, deep within you, there has always been a yearning to be freed from that dull, lingering feeling, that silent pain gnawing at every cell inside you. Even as you try to appear fine on the outside, maybe you are simply exhausted. Exhausted from forcing yourself to please everyone. Exhausted from maintaining an image of flawless strength, while what you truly crave is simply to breathe, even just once, without carrying the burden of having to be invulnerable. But I am going to tell you a truth that few dare to speak aloud. As long as you keep running from pain, it will continue to rule over you. As long as you keep wrapping yourself in layers of safety, the outside world will still find a way to break you. And no, it is not because you are weak. It is because you are still fighting in the wrong direction. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers in the realm of deep psychology, once said, "We are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become." True strength is not about no longer feeling pain. It is about being fully aware of yourself, even while you are bleeding. And if you have found your way to this video, I believe it is not by accident. You are ready for a different kind of journey. A journey that will not promise ease, but will return you to your most original self. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and continue this journey of inner awakening with me, where no one and nothing can hurt you anymore. We're going to begin right now. Part 1. The true pain comes from within. You believe that what hurts you is out there, in someone's cruel words, in the cold turn of a back, in betrayals you never saw coming. You think they are the ones who shattered your heart. But the truth is, no one can truly hurt you if inside you there isn't already a wound that has never healed. What pierces you is not the arrow from outside, but what the arrow touches inside you. An old fear, a forgotten pain, a story you still tell yourself every night. When no one else is around to witness your collapse, Carl Jung pointed out, what the outside world stirs within us is merely a mirror reflecting what remains unresolved inside us. That is why some endure unimaginable loss and still stand firm, while others crumble from a careless word. It's not because they are stronger than you. It's because what happens no longer strikes an open wound inside them. And here is the bitter truth. You are still hurting, because deep down, you are still trying to control how the world treats you. You strive to be better, smarter, stronger, more understanding, hoping that if you are good enough, you will no longer have to endure unfair wounds. But that is just an illusion, a battle you can never win. As long as you place your hope in the kindness of the world out there, you are binding yourself to the emotions of others. And freedom only begins when you realize no one out there can dictate your emotions, only you. And the wounds within you have that power. Part 2. The real battle, the unconscious. Have you ever wondered why a trivial comment can suffocate your heart? Why, in seemingly harmless moments, you feel like you're free-falling without support? The answer is not in what others have done. It lies within you. in the parts you have never dared to face. Carl Jung called that place the unconscious, a realm buried beneath the surface of awareness, where all the memories you tried to forget, the fears you avoided, the wounds you buried since childhood, are hidden. You thought you had forgotten, but the unconscious does not forget. It remembers. It stores every scratch, every rejection, every humiliation you swallowed, and then a cold glance, a careless word, ignites the dormant ashes, making all the wounds you thought were dead erupt violently, as if no healing ever took place. You can run away from people. You can temporarily dodge new wounds, but you cannot run from yourself. You cannot escape the shadow whispering from your unconscious each night. Carl Jung said something you must engrave in your heart until you make the unconscious conscious. It will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The fate you curse. The misfortunes you feel were unjustly dealt to you. They do not come from anywhere else. They are written by the very parts of you that you have never faced. Every time you explode in anger over a tiny tease, every time you collapse from silent treatment, it's the voice of the broken pieces inside you. No, you are not wicked. You just have never learned to listen to yourself. So, if you truly want to become invulnerable, if you truly want no one and nothing to be able to bring you down, you must stop fighting the world out there and begin the journey of conquering the world within you. It is not a battle against emotions. It is a journey of awakening, where you are no longer a slave to your inner darkness, but become its master. And in that very moment, when you dare to walk into the darkness, the light within you will naturally ignite. Part 3. The common mistake: building emotional walls. When the wounds inside become too painful, our natural reaction is to build walls. You start locking your heart away. You erect thick, heavy walls through indifference, through a cold demeanor, through a stiff smile. I'm fine. I don't care anymore. You convince yourself that if you feel nothing, you won't hurt anymore. You learn to laugh off insults. You pretend to be indifferent when rejected. You learn to say, it's nothing. While deep inside, loneliness is silently eating away at you day by day. But what is the truth? You don't become stronger. You only become numb. You don't truly overcome the pain. You just paralyze your emotions. Carl Jung saw this vicious cycle. He said, you can know all the theories, master all the techniques, but when you touch a human soul, be just another human soul. You can wear all the armor you want out there, but inside you, there is still a trembling soul, craving to be touched, craving to be loved, craving to be understood. If what I am sharing is touching something inside you, take a moment, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to continue walking with me on this journey of inner discovery and healing. This is not just a channel. This is a sanctuary for souls learning to become whole. True invulnerability does not come from denying emotions, nor from pretending not to be hurt. It comes from facing and embracing it all. When you dare to look directly at your fear, your shame, your helplessness, and whisper, I see you, I accept you. Then at that moment, no one will ever be able to use those wounds against you again. You don't need to build more walls. You need to tear them down. You don't need to be harder. You need to be more whole. Because a heart that has learned to love its own pain no longer trembles before any attack from the world. Part 4. The path of individuation, the journey of becoming yourself. You know, the wholeness you are seeking does not come from becoming better by the world's standards. It comes from becoming yourself, alone, unique, without imitation, without a mold. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the journey back to your most original self. After peeling away every mask, every armor, every illusion you once wore to be accepted. But you must know, this journey will not be easy. It is not for those who still crave comfort. It is not for those who want to be loved without daring to endure loneliness. Individuation demands that you step into your own darkness, where the parts you are ashamed of, the parts you once rejected, ran from, and hated reside. You will have to confront the very rage that once terrified you. You will have to face the weakness you have hidden for so long. You will have to accept that. You are not perfect, and you never will be, but it is exactly there, in rawness, in unvarnished truth, that you will find a strength you have never unlocked before. Individuation is not a journey to become better in the eyes of others. It is a journey to become more truthful in the eyes of yourself. You will no longer need to prove anything. You will no longer need applause, validation, or forgiveness from the outside. You will reclaim the power you have long handed over to the world. And if you are still here, if your heart is still quietly listening, if there is a silent voice within you whispering, "This is what I have truly longed for," take a moment. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a single step on the journey back to yourself, because what awaits you ahead is not just knowledge, not just theory, but a rebirth, a new version of yourself, steadier, more peaceful, and no longer easily shaken by the storms of life. Part 5. The Price of Awakening, Loneliness and Growth. As you dive deeper into the journey of becoming yourself, you will realize an unavoidable truth: loneliness, not because the world has turned its back on you, but because you no longer belong to the places you once clung to. When you no longer fake a smile to please, no longer keep silent to maintain peace, no longer accept half-hearted relationships just to fill the void, you will find yourself standing alone. In the spaces you once thought were safe havens, you will see that some who once called themselves friends now look at you with unfamiliar eyes. You will see that places that once made you feel at home now feel suffocating and alien, not because you are arrogant, not because you have changed, but because you have grown. True growth always comes with loss. You lose relationships built on compromise. You lose illusions of safety. You lose the old version of yourself, the one who believed that cooperating, pretending, enduring was enough to be loved. And in exchange, what do you gain? You gain freedom. You gain truth. You gain yourself. But do not be mistaken. Freedom is not the light, buoyant feeling people often paint it to be. True freedom, at first, is a shock, a terrifying emptiness, a sense of isolation, as if you are standing on a cliff surrounded by the vast ocean. With every old support swept away, it is the moment you realize no one can save you but yourself. No comforting words can fill the loneliness of one learning to live authentically. No embrace can substitute for the journey you must walk alone. And strangely, it is within that deepest loneliness that you will hear, for the very first time, the purest beat of your heart. You will finally hear the most genuine call from the depths of your soul. Keep going, even if you are alone, even if no one understands, even if no one stands beside you. Keep going. Part 6. The ultimate weapon. Consciousness, not strength. You have walked through the darkness. You have endured the soul's hunger. You have tasted the loneliness that only those who are truly awakened can understand. But now, a new truth gradually reveals itself. The only protection, the only strength that can save you from the pain and chaos of the world is not brute force, is not a cold facade, is not walls of separation. It is consciousness. Consciousness is when you see an insult and do not let it pierce your heart. It is when you feel a betrayal and do not let it crush your ego. It is when you see a door close, and instead of falling into despair, you smile and move forward. Consciousness does not eliminate pain. It transforms pain. It does not make you immune to loss, but it strips loss of its power to destroy who you are. Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms you." And consciousness is the greatest act of acceptance. No resentment, no denial, no struggle, just facing it all and smiling at everything that comes and goes in your life. Because when you awaken, you will understand no one can truly hurt you. Only the parts within you that remain unseen and unloved react and ache. When you awaken, the outside world becomes mere gentle waves rippling across the surface of a soul that has grown deep and still. You still feel, you still love, you still resonate, but you no longer collapse easily. You no longer lose yourself just because someone does not see you the way you wish. And it is precisely then you will realize it is not physical strength. It is not a mask of indifference, but deep, profound awareness that becomes the ultimate armor of the soul. You no longer need to shield yourself from life, because life no longer holds the power to break you. Conclusion. At the very end of this journey, there will come a moment when you stand between two paths. One path leads you back to where you once belonged, the land of masks, compromises, and weary pretending. The other path leads straight into uncharted territory, the land of absolute honesty with yourself. No one can choose for you. No one can walk it for you. It is the moment when you must face the most primal choice, to live as the world expects, or to live as your soul has always silently yearned. But remember, the path back to yourself will not promise ease. There will be days when you feel utterly alone. There will be nights when you wrestle with your deepest fears. There will be moments when you doubt whether letting go of the familiar was worth it. And in those moments, remember why you started. You did not come here merely to survive. You came here to live fully, not as a beggar for love, not as one straining under a mask, not as one lost in the gaze of others. You came here to become yourself, whole, complete, free. And you no longer need anyone else to validate that worth for you. Because once you touch the truth within yourself, once you embrace both your light and your darkness, no one and nothing can ever take you away from yourself again. If you feel the change rising in your heart, if a part of you has already begun to awaken, Let this journey not end here. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so we can continue walking together on this deep and beautiful journey of inner rebirth. Awakening is not a destination. It is a choice repeated every day, every breath, every decision. Every time you stand before the choice between fear and love, you will stumble, you will grow weary, you will sometimes want to turn back. But if you keep walking, if you continue to choose yourself, day after day, bit by bit, you will build an inner world as solid as a mountain, as still as a lake, as radiant as a light that can never be extinguished. And then, one day, you will realize nothing and nobody will ever hurt you again, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. You have become the fire. You have become the ocean. You have become the sky. Nothing can ever touch your soul again.